How'd you get water?
Well, what the normal procedure was, the supply people would bring water up in these 5-gallon jerry cans, they called it.
Yeah.
They'd bring water up, and for our company infantry, about, well, full strength was 184. It would take a lot of water.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes they weren't able to get up there with the water can, and so we run out of water. So we would melt snow and fill our canteens. In the winter was a lot of snow, so we'd keep melting snow on these little gas stoves we had, and filling our canteens. And then if we had a stream someplace or spring, then we'd fill our canteens in that. And sometimes we'd fill them out of shell holes that had filled up with water.
Did you drink that water with
We drank it, yeah. We had these halcyon tablets we put in them. And the water in the shell holes, it settled so it looked clear sometimes. We'd fill our canteens out of that. And then we used these halcyon tablets and put it in there. It didn't taste very good.
Yeah.
But you see, you can't get along without water very long. You can get along without food for a few days, but you can't with water. And I remember at the time we even were really desperate for water. I think that was a Limburg. There was tank tracks they'd fill up with water, and we'd fill even out of wherever we could find water.
You just dip your canteen in there?
Yeah, and then it was kind of dark. You might have even seen, you know, water turned dark and around.
Oh yeah.
Drop some halcyon tablets in there and drink it. So that was the problem at times.
Yeah.
The water problem was maybe a bigger problem than the food.
Yeah.
And Army regulations said you cannot drink water out of anything but what the Army furnishes. You can't.
So you followed.
They're afraid of people getting sick or something.
So you followed that.
Well, we didn't get the water. They couldn't get the water up there, so we had to absolutely go with whatever we could find at home.
Yeah, but it was regulations.
It was didn't against regulations to do that.
Did anybody get?
And if we could find a spring someplace up in the mountains, it's perfect.
Did they ever?
Our canteens out of the spring.
Yeah.
And guess we were moving pretty fast sometimes, and they couldn't. I don't think they were able to, or whatever the problem. I don't know what the problem was for getting water up there, but that was a problem.
Did anybody ever get in trouble for not following regulations? Did you get in trouble?
They said that some guy was caught, and he was some non-com. I think he was a sergeant, and he had spilled his water out of his stream or something, and he got busted for. And that they were strict on it, but see, no way they could enforce it, and no way that they could supply the water. Sometimes it was a problem. It was a problem for us, but it was probably a problem if people are trying to do it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was. We would get in such remote areas sometimes that the people that are responsible to bring up supplies, K rations and water and ammunition and that, sometimes they weren't able, or sometimes they wouldn't bring it up there. Maybe that's what we used to say. They'd dump it off back someplace, and then we'd send a detail back to get it. But
that's pretty hard to carry a 5-gallon jerry can.
Yeah.
That's 40 pounds.
See, they'd have to bring it up to where they could get a Jeep or with these trailers on them, where they brought up. When they brought up hot meals for us, if they had a chance, they would bring a hot meal up to us if they were able to, if they could get in there. So occasionally they'd do that. Then they'd bring water cans too, and all supplies. But they weren't always able to do that.
So then did you have to somebody carry those 5-gallon cans? Or did you?
Yeah, I imagine that they had to carry them, yeah. They're these flat cans.
Yeah.
Got cans.
They're heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy, yeah. These open wells.
Could you go to a well and get some water?
Up there, I never remember getting water out of a well.
Why not? It seems like you just go to the well and get some water.
Well, the villages, they had these open wells. They maybe have a bucket they crank down there and crank water up in the villages. And they probably would be in Mineral not too far from it.
Yeah.
And that, I never did.
Huh. Seems like that
I'd rather drink water out of a hole in the ground, because that water wasn't probably polluted with anything, you know.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't. You know, if water is standing in a hole someplace, it may be poisonous.
It's just rainwater.
It's just rainwater, but it's standing in the ground and dirty, and even you could eat dirt. Maybe it isn't even poisonous.
Yeah.
But drinking out of a well that's about who knows what seeped in there, that you can really get sick. I can't, not that I can remember anyway. Got into it. They didn't. The water system was out of business.
When you went into a town, seems like you just go turn on the faucet.
They didn't have any water. They blew up all the plants, electric plants, and everything was damaged. And how they got the water, I don't know.
Where'd the Army get the water?
Pardon?
Where'd the Army get the water?
Army? You know, I don't know where. They must have had wells someplace, and then they purified it. And then they hauled it around these big tank trucks.
Yeah.
I saw them in the States. It's like a big trailer with a tank on it. And they had these water purification plants. And somebody had the job in the Army was to work in these water purification plants.
I've seen, I remember one unit in Iraq, they lost people from water purification. That was their, the unit was water purification, then they got bombed or something.
I've never saw it, so I don't know how they did that.